Hello and welcome to Everything Folk. This is episode 9, Mari's Wedding. So I'm here with my co-host, Katie, as I am every week. How are you doing, Katie?
Fine, thanks. Just recovering from my trip to Gloucestershire. If you didn't hear last week, we were in the studio together, and that was really good, but there's nothing like your own bed, so I'm glad I'm home.
Now, our pick this week is Mari's Wedding. So do you have some information about this, Katie?
Yes. Mari's Wedding is quite a popular Scottish folk song. It's sometimes called the Lewis Bridal Song or the Mary Ban. In fact, it was originally written in Gaelic by a guy called Johnny Bannerman for Mary McNiven? For Mary McNiven.
Yeah, and it was first played for Mary McNiven in 1935 at the Old Highlanders Institute in Glasgow, if you really wanted to know that.
Yeah, and then it was turned back into English in 1936. We're doing, both of our versions are in English.
And Jim Corr wrote 2 additional verses for the movie Passed Away, and they're the only ones heard clearly in this movie.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No, I think it might be quite old, so us young people may not have been able to see it. On a completely unrelated note.
But who's your pick by Katie?
My pick, here we go, is by the Irish Rovers. They're not Irish, they're Canadian, but they do Irish folk pieces. They were formed in 1963. They're not together anymore, but they were named after the Irish song, The Irish Rover. So that's where their name comes from. But I've picked my pick as it's quite a traditional version of the song, whereas last week we didn't do very traditional.
Yeah,
Last week we didn't do very traditional pieces. We went a bit wacky.
Yeah, their first album was in 1966, and the last one they did was in 2007. So there might be a new one coming out, because it seems they do one every 2 years.
Oh, well, good for them if they do, because... Well, if the last one was in 2007, then it should have been 2009.
Yeah, true. So, hopefully there'll be a new album, because they're pretty good.
But yeah, okay, let's play my track now.
Yeah, this is the Irish Rovers, Mari's Wedding.
And brown, past the shield and through the town, all for sake of Mary. Step gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe.
There's a preview of your song. Wow.
But, yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Accordion solo. You don't usually get accordion solos.
Yeah, I like the accordion solo in that because it's pretty fast-paced. And I think the accordion in that band really just like brings the whole band together.
Yeah, the accordion makes such a difference.
Yeah. What did you think of the speed and style?
Yeah, it's pretty good speed. I'm usually fussy about my speeds, aren't I? So... But I'm happy with that. Not too fast, not too slow. Just about right, really.
Yeah, it's very jolly, this song, as well. Because you can imagine like it in a pub with everyone having like a good time dancing around.
Yeah, it's really traditional.
Yeah, because I think this song should be traditional and not,
cheesy.
Moderned up, if that's the way. Because if it's moderned up, then you could get a bit cheesy.
Yeah. Now, we personally couldn't find anywhere to buy this version of the song, sadly.
Okay.
But I'm sure it must be in one of their many albums.
It's in... The album I found it on was the Irish Rovers celebrating 30 years. But we couldn't find that anywhere. But I'm sure if you keep a lookout, you will find it on Amazon or eBay somewhere.
Yeah. Now, my pick is by the High Kings. And we've had the High Kings on the show before. When we did the Rocky Road to Dublin, I chose
Yeah, they
one
were
of
really
their...
good.
Sorry?
They were really good.
Yeah, when we did the Rocky Road to Dublin, I chose their version of the song. And so I really like them. I've got their album. And so I've chose the Mari's Wedding by the High Kings. So here it is. Now I skipped most of the intro there. It's a good intro, but it goes on a bit.
It's quite scary, I find, but I think it's very effective with just percussion and their voices, because it's like the build-up and then they're straight into the full-on.
Yeah, and they also come back with that riff, as you heard, about halfway through. And there's a mini fiddle solo in there as well.
I was really impressed with that, because that's a pretty... it's a very traditional sound of that fiddle.
Yeah, the High Kings are a modern band, but they do old traditional music, Irish music.
Yeah, it adds like a depth to a song. Like the idea that these people are trudging along like through the bracken, heel by heel, just to get to Mari's wedding, which I think it's a lot more grounded and more, soulful is not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
version of the song.
Yeah, because
it's also slower, which helps.
As you said, this song can be done really bad and cheesy. So talking of cheesy, Katie?
If you're living in the UK, you're probably not aware of the Wiggles. However, if you're in America or Australia, you'll probably be aware of the Wiggles. They're a children's musical group formed in Sydney in 1991, and they do cheesy versions of songs for kids, and kids love them, but they can be a bit cheesy, as I've said quite a few times now.
Yeah,
but they do a version of this song, which isn't that bad, but it's a bit naff.
And they teach this song, the Mari's Wedding, in Scotland, don't they?
Yeah, if you know the Scottish comedian Billy Connolly, then you might have heard his stand-up act about this song, which is all about him suffering, as all they ever did in primary school was this song, and so badly. And yeah, it's pretty funny. And then at the end, he plays a bit on his banjo. I was going to pick it, but then I was like, Seth was like, you need an actual pick. And I agreed with him, because he's a good banjo player, but it's not a good arrangement of the song.
So thank you for listening to Everything Folk. There might not be an episode next week. If there is an episode, it will probably be early or late. So we're sorry in advance for that, because we know there's been a few missed episodes and late episodes and things like that. But we'll try and get it out on time if we can.
Yeah, it's because we're both on holiday, so we can't upload it.
Unless we can get internet.
Yeah, which is unlikely.
But as I said, thank you for listening to Everything Folk. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Subscribe!